Welcome to Inspiration by Leon. I look forward to inspire and empower you in the next few minutes. You truly deserve a life of contentment and confidence. So stay tuned for today's topic. The quality of our life is determined by our belief system, and our belief system consists of all the information that is stored in our brain. And all that information either has a negative, positive, or neutral meaning attached to it. Now, that information comes from lessons that we learned over the years from role models like parents, teachers, lecturers, supervisors, fellow friends, maybe. It comes from experiences that we had throughout our life. It also comes from things that we have read, that we watch, that we observe. And we use all this information to interpret life and experiences and situations. This means that when I have a belief in my brain with a negative meaning attached to it, I will interpret similar situations as negative, and I will have a negative experience as well. I would love to share a few examples with you. Imagine you grew up like I did with a parent that told you children are seen and not heard. The belief that was created was that when you are in the company of older people, wiser people, or more senior people, you are quiet. The experience that came from that belief was that when you enter the workplace, you would never, ever raise an opinion or tell your boss, your senior, or your older colleague how you feel about something. And this led to you eventually painting up ideas, thoughts, emotions, and making you very unhappy. Let's look at a second example. Maybe as a child, you were taught to be helpful. You had house chores to assist mommy and daddy in the household. Maybe a teacher at one case asked you to assist a friend of yours who dropped his or her bookcase and everything fell out, and you were asked to help them gather their things and pack it back again. Maybe you were quite or academically quite strong, and you were the go-to person while you studied, and your fellow students looked up at you. The belief that was created is that there's reward in helping people. I will be accepted, and I will be loved, and I will earn respect. But the experience attached to that belief eventually ended up in me becoming a people pleaser, to the point that I'm taken advantage of. One more example. Let's say you didn't do well with orals at school. You are naturally a shy person, a kind of an introvert. And at one point, children even laughed at you when you fell over your words. The belief that was created is that you cannot speak to audiences. And the experience that may come from such a belief is that you could even decline a promotional role at work because it involves you leading a meeting. Now, how on earth can I change these beliefs so that I can improve the quality of my life? A first simple step would be to recognize these beliefs that are holding you back, to recognize the beliefs that form your interpretation and makes things negative and cause negative experiences. And the second simple step to start with is to start challenging those thoughts that come from your beliefs. You can ask, what are alternatives that I can attach to the situation? How can I think about it differently? And you can even grab pen and paper and write down as many alternatives, positive alternatives, as you could possibly come up with. I want to use the example of presentations. You could even think about it in this way and say, I was very young when I did the oral, where the children laughed at me. I'm now much older and wiser. I now have knowledge of the role that I am in. I am an expert at what I'm doing. I have had good role models that I watched and saw how presentations are done. There's even an opportunity for me to grow in this area, and I can go and do a course. Let's look at how we can change the perspective of Children are seen and not heard. Well, I'm not a children anymore. I'm now an adult. And in the work environment, we do not look at age and seniority in the same way that we have looked at it when I was a child. And maybe the opportunity is that I can learn how to be respectfully assertive so that I at least can raise my own opinion in a comfortable way. We need to do this repeatedly. A belief will not change with just one encounter and just one question of how can I think about this differently. We need to continuously remind ourselves that there is an alternative way at looking at things. In this process, we can create new beliefs, and new positive beliefs will definitely change the way you interpret life and will add to a wonderful, amazing, joyful, and more content life. A quality life is something that you can then look forward to.
Thank you for joining us today. If you would like to know more about the programs and mentoring options that I offer, feel free to contact me on leon@radiantwoman.co.za. I would love to hear from you.